Third time's the charm. Okay, here we go. We're going to make a Gantt chart in Tableu. Tear open the Excel file for the third time because we accidentally deleted the video the second time, and the first time I wasn't paying attention. So, get that Gantt chart Excel file data open and wait for Tableu's slow ass. Next, we're going to want to change start date to an actual date. People keep texting me. Oh, nope, it didn't do it. So, nope, everything's ruined. Struggling. Okay, so start date is not in the date format. It is in the Word format, so we're going to click this, change it from string to date. Great. Now Tableu recognizes it as a date, not a sentence. So we can use this to our advantage by going to Sheet 1, taking start date, which now has that little calendar symbol rather than the ABC, throwing it up into columns, clicking it, and making it day in this format rather than just a singular day or month or quarter, which is all very stupid. So we want days. Boop. But this means kind of nothing without rows to accompany it. So we're going to take task and put it in the rows. Now this looks a bit funky for a couple reasons. For starters, task is in alphabetical order rather than in the temporal order, basically. So we want to go down here to field and change it ordered by start date. Instead of count, we want by minimum. So it basically chooses the earliest thing first. We're going to hit apply, hit OK, and it switches it up for us. So we have the task, April 24th, program and test survey as our first thing, and final annual report delivered as our last thing. And because of the way the data is set up in the data source, there are a couple things that appear multiple times. And that's why it's one here, program and test survey, one here, program and test survey, one here, just for an example. It appears multiple times. So there's actually 55 unique tasks, but some of them happen multiple times. So the next thing that we're going to do is change the x-axis labels. So we're going to go down to fixed and change the date to, let's just say, 4/10/2017, all the way up until, let's say, June 13th, 2017. So this will change this bottom label here for our data. But we also want tick marks fixed every month because this is a 5-year project. So having it over 5 years with as many distinguishable tick marks as possible is just going to be great. So we do this, and when we hit OK, we can see that, oh my god, there's just like this one long sentence that kind of translates into a bunch of different days. But let's make it a bit more readable. So we're going to scroll down, hit day, and hit format. We're going to format this. So we're going to throw in some tick marks for good measure, just so we can see what we're working with. And we're going to change the alignment, and when we change the alignment to up, we've got a whole bunch more space to work with. But we could still make a little bit more. So if we change the date style to, you know, how normal people read dates, we get this. So we have our tick marks every 2 months because every 1 month would be super crowded. I mean, the tick marks are every 1 month, but our labels are every 2 months. If our labels were every singular month, it would be super crowded. But we can still do something about the readability of this graph because it's kind of hard to see where these line up. It's like you got to get your ruler out, and no one wants to get their ruler out for Tableu. So we're going to slide over to this button here, format lines. We're going to drop some grid lines, some nice thick grid lines in there. And the grid lines correspond with the tick mark, so there's one for every month. And so this makes it a little bit easier to see when the tasks are occurring. So We're going to drop a couple more things in here. We can exit out of format lines because that's all we want to do there. We want to take duration and we drop it by size. And so this way we can see that the longer durations are larger bars versus the shorter duration. So as you can see right here, we have the duration of 1 day, 7 days, and 14 days. Those are the only 3 lengths I have for my tasks. And they're 3 different sizes. It would also help knowing who's doing those things. So we can drop resource into color, and so we have 3 different colors. It's really hard to tell the difference between this red and this orange. So we can slide over here, double click, and if we make this green, hit apply, bam. We got green, we got blue, we got red, our whole little legends up here. It's great. Everything's great. Everything is great. For the 3rd time doing this. Last thing, ignore. Last thing, sheet. We're going to change the title to Server Draft, which just happens to be the same title. Nope, we don't want sheet 1. Ignore. Just going to change the title to Server Draft, which is the same title that I used in the R video that I have not made yet because I don't know what some of the code means, even though it works. So we have day of start date down here as our X label, and we have the task here, and this is a Gantt chart in Tableu. It'd probably look a little bit better and more Gantt-ly if I didn't have so many tasks occurring over 5 years, but we work with what we got. So that is a Gantt chart in Tableu.